Hi everyone, I just finished up a few signs for a new vacation rental we finished, and I thought I'd do a quick video on how I make them. I've made quite a few signs in our downtown area, including the two on my store. This sign was so large that I had a local metal shop fabricate an aluminum frame the exact dimensions needed for the wood part of the sign. Because of the size and location of the sign, I knew it was going to be fairly permanent and hard to get to, so I used exterior deck boards to prevent warping and a durable exterior paint for the background and the letters. I painted the letters by hand, but I did use a template, and I'm going to show you a very simple process for doing this. This is another recent sign that I painted, and I think it's the easiest example to use for how to set up and print a template. I know there are lots of different ways of sign painting out there, but this is my process and it works for me. I like to start with the website or app Canva to create an image the exact dimensions of my sign, which in this case was 72 inches long and 11.5 inches tall. I like using Canva because there's a wide range of font styles, and I just set up the lettering and download the image once I'm happy with it. I found that PowerPoint is a really fast and easy way to set up a printable template using standard printer paper. First, I just set up a slide the dimensions of 8.5 by 11 inches. Next, I drag my sign image in that I made in Canva and make sure it's the actual size of the sign, which in my case was 72 by 11.5. It's obviously going to be much larger than the PowerPoint slide. Then I move the image so that the first part of the sign letters are showing. Then I duplicate that slide and move the image over again to show the next few letters on the second slide. I keep repeating this until every slide will print a small portion of the sign that I can easily tape together. Then all I have to do is print the entire slide deck, and once it's printed, I carefully line up all the pages and tape them together to make the template. I always measure the template just to make sure it printed the correct size, and if it didn't, just check your scale on your page setup because it needs to be printed at 100% just to make sure that all the pages print correctly. Once the template is formed, I just tape it in place, and I use Surreal chalk transfer paper to trace each letter onto the board that I'm using. Sometimes I paint letters freehand, and sometimes I use masking tape. It really just depends on how shaky my hands are on the day that I'm painting. For this sign, I used a high quality white acrylic paint. When painting signs that are going to be outdoors, if I know they're going to be in direct sunlight, I do try to steer away from colors that are going to fade easily, like red, yellow, and orange. Once I'm finished with the letters and they're dry, I can take a damp cloth and wipe away any residual chalk markings. I also usually put a coat of varnish on it. I'll show you that later in the video. For the barn quilt style sign that I made recently, I used these free alphabet quilt blocks for the lettering. I'll put a link to those in the description of this video, but basically I cropped each letter into a single image and set it up the same way in PowerPoint as a template. The letters were transferred using Surreal chalk paper again, and the quilt-inspired mountain scene above the lettering I did not plan ahead for and just sketched out an idea. As I made up and painted the mountain scene above, I brought those same colors down to use in the lettering. I used a lot of masking tape in this project, probably close to 3 or 4 rolls. I used highly pigmented and high quality acrylic paints for this sign, and again stayed away from reds, oranges, and yellows as much as possible. Once it was done, I put several coats of this Modern Masters clear varnish on it, which I found has great UV protection. My Bryson City barn quilt has been hanging outside now for 6 years, and it still looks great. The Pine Cottage quilt sign was hung a few weeks ago to christen the end of our renovation. This was footage from the Perkins Builder Brothers channel, and it was a pretty funny moment because Eric screwed the sign to the wall, but he also caught Ray's fingers behind the sign. He didn't get pinched too bad, and Ray is a pretty good sport. The guys also hung the other sign for me, which is on a shed in front of the house. It's mostly to help vacationers find the place. So that's a quick look into my process for making my own signs, and I hope it was helpful. I will add some links into the description of the video of anything that I mentioned. As always, thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, share, and comment if you'd like to see more. Thanks.